For about 11 years, I've had a page on the photo hosting site Flickr. I'd say I've posted probably about 15,000 public photos. Among the pictures that has received the most clicks and likes is one that I took of a stewardess, or flight attendant, back in September of 2008. For some reason, people seem to like the photo, and from time to time I will get a request to add it to a photo group or somebody's personal album. Sometimes that album is about stewardesses, or flight attendants. I took the shot after boarding a small Embraer jet at Dulles International Airport on my way home to Albany, New York, from a trip to see my sister in Seattle. Maybe there's something in the composition of this photo that has appealed to some of the people that's seen it. There are 3 zones in the photo: a seat back, the center aisle, and a utility wall. She occupies the center aisle portion, but she's not smack in the middle of the frame. She's also well lighted. The photo is slightly off-center, enough to make it interesting but not chaotic. And I'm sure there's photographers out there that could provide a much more detailed breakdown of the picture. Suffice to say, it has appealed to a few thousand viewers over the years. I'm going to start by being clear here. This was not a voyeuristic shot. I think it was a picture that caught my attention because when I fly, and it's been a few years, I'll admit, I like to record my trip from beginning to end. I'm not kidding, I really do. I have taken many frames from before I've even gone through security, to waiting at the gate, to boarding the aircraft, to other passengers, and then to the flight itself, looking out the window. I'm that jerk that sneakily records his landings. As I said before, I don't know what the appeal of the picture is. I suspect that many people, men in particular, have a fascination with stewardesses. I didn't say flight attendants, the gender-neutral term, but stewardesses. And I don't think it's a completely creepy thing. It's just that these are the people who wait on us in the tin can flying in the sky. Nowadays, they're quite dressed down, but in the heyday of aircraft, when you could stretch out your legs, have a full-course dinner, and even enjoy a cigarette, these women were particularly glamorous. They also had short careers, not because of air crashes. Those are relatively rare. But back in the day, airlines generally didn't hire women past their late 20s, and if you had kids, you could forget about it. I have some memory of this stewardess. It was a long day of traveling, and I was groggy from Klonopin and probably a beer in the waiting area, but I recall her doing the pre-flight routine. After we were up in the air, I only took one photo. It was the sun setting towards the west, probably somewhere over Maryland. Shortly after, I put my iPod shuffle on, and I fell asleep for the 40-minute or so flight. This woman roused me awake at some point over the Hudson Valley to direct me to turn off my iPod and put the tray table up, and I don't really remember anything more. I'm glad people have favorited the photo, though. I'm glad they've liked it. And I hope it's not for bad purposes, and I'm generally quite envious of flight crew. They travel to different places, and I like traveling. Maybe they don't really go to that many exotic spots. Instead, they probably go to places like Traverse City, Michigan, or Tulsa, Oklahoma, or in her case that day, Albany, New York. Still, that's more than most of us travel in our lives, and I bet she has interesting stories to tell. Sometimes I look up at the vapor trails of a plane 6 or 7 miles up in the sky, and I wonder, where is it going? But no matter where it's going, there's people like this lady to do the best to make sure you are comfortable in that tightly packed plane up there. I wonder if she's still up there working the friendly skies. Well, thanks for joining me for the story behind the picture. Good luck. God bless.